Hi everyone, my name is Hada. I am also from the Yale anesthesiology department. Self-disclosure, I'm not an anesthesiologist. I am a postdoctoral associate who would like to share one of my experiences to prepare for the coronavirus outbreak at home. It is to home make preservative food named kimchi. The best way to serve kimchi is to mix with rice. So if you have a rice cooker at home, this kimchi recipe may be very helpful to you. The benefit of making natural preservative food is that it can last longer without toxic ingredients such as additives, and you have control over what you make depending on personal preference and thus what you consume, right? So the vegetable base of the kimchi is cabbage, and then if you would like to have a slightly sweetened flavor and complexity, you can add carrots and or daikon. So the first step you do is to peel off the skin, wash and chop the vegetables into these sizes. Of course, the cabbage, you don't need to peel off the skin, but I mean the rest. So you can then add a lot of salt on the vegetables. So you would need 2 cups of salt for this amount of kimchi. So I'm showing you this spoon of half a cup. So you can imagine how much salt you need to add on. So total for this amount of kimchi preparation, you would need 2 cups of salt. First, you add salt on it, and then you do kind of a massage and let the salt get into the vegetables. You do the massage for a minute and leave it, and then come back and kind of do it back and forth. So you want to have the vegetable mixed with the salt with the container at least 30 minutes. So and then you add cold boiled water into the vegetables. So you will need to have a bigger container, add the water on the cabbage and the mixture of the vegetables, and then you kind of let the water just cover up the vegetables. So one of the best idea is that you want to create a more concentrated environment is to put a plate on top of the vegetables, and then you put something heavy on the plate. So I do this like here. It's very heavy. Put it on the plate, and then you put it on the top of the vegetables. Okay, I'm going to be very careful. Don't break. And then you kind of do this. Whoops. And then you let it sit on top of the vegetables. On the same time, you pour the water on the top of just to the top of the vegetables, and then you let the water submerge, and then you cover something up and leave it overnight. Okay, let it sit overnight. The next day, you carefully rinse off all the salty water from the vegetables and make sure the salty residue on the surface are off. Okay, so you rinse it with tap water 3 to 4 times and repeat it with boil cold water 3 to 4 times. So the idea is that you want to make sure the vegetable you preserve has as less contamination with bacteria as possible. Sometimes we don't know the quality of water from the pipe, so as the water source, right? So it's better to use cold boiled water to rinse off the residues. All right, so next, my wires. Okay, my battery is dying. So I'm going to take it off and see if it's better. Put it somewhere. Okay, bye. And then the next step is to make sure to make the kimchi paste. So the ingredients include garlic, shallot, ginger, onion, and the spring onion, okay, and fish sauce. So really, I don't have a preference on the brands, but this is what I use. Fish sauce and red pepper powder. So I choose the Korean style. It's better because it gives me a more traditional kimchi favorite. So this is my choice. And brown sugar. And then you chop these ingredients up into very fine pieces like this. And you mix them together so the paste is really personal. It depends on your preference. So if you like to have more spicy favorite, you would want to add more chili pepper, or I mean the red pepper powder. If you would like to have more sweetened flavor, you probably need more brown sugar, so and so forth. So you don't need to add salt because the cabbage is already salt. And then you add the fish sauce. So the fish sauce is salty. So and the function of the fish sauce on one hand is to provide a salty flavor. The second one is to liquefy the paste. So once the paste is made and it's mixed with the vegetables, you can place the mixture into a jar, okay? Into a jar. And make sure the jar is sterile before use. So how to sterile it? So first you rinse it with soap water, and then you rinse it with boiling hot water and let it completely dry, okay? So this is, it is ready to use. It is dry and it's clean. So I will save it for my kimchi later, okay? And make sure you close the jar after you stir it, okay? So no more contact with the air before it's ready. And then the next thing you do is to put the mixture into the jar. So that is a skill to put something in a jar in the process. So you would like, so imagine this is the jar. This container is the jar, and this is the vegetables, okay? Just imagine. So you want to press the vegetables every time you put it. So you want to make sure there is less air between the layers, and each layer contact to each other with the good ingredients closely. So you're filling up the layers by pressing it. Okay, so this is the kimchi that I made last month. So you could see the bottom of the vegetable is really compact. So it avoids the bubbles in between, and then it also allows each layers to be contacted closely to one another. And then you put the mixture into the jar, kind of press it, and then you close the jar tight. Leave it at room temperature for 5 to 7 days. So every 2 other days, you can kind of rotate the jar to promote the kinetic reactions and to create a more balanced environment for the kimchi flavor to develop. So you can do it every day if you're bored. So then the kimchi is almost fermentized. You put it in the fridge for at least 1 week before consumption. So I mean, the first taste of the kimchi should be sitting in your fridge for at least a week, and then you can let it sit for a year. So the process of 1 week sitting in the fridge waiting is that it allows it to develop a more complex and rounded flavor slowly. That's it. That's how you make kimchi at home. I also did a placebo experiment on 10 subjects, which turns out to be my friends in New Haven. So the placebo experiment it's conducted with two choices of kimchi. The one is homemade style kimchi, and the second one is the commercial kimchi that I brought from an Asian grocery market. So not to be biased, I'm just picking it as an example. So please don't have prejudice on this brand. So it turns out that 100% of the subjects reported that homemade style is better than the commercial one. And I hope that I encourage you and inspire you to make your own kimchi. Stay well. Thank you for watching.